Turning our attention to the Liberty women now, we welcome in LFSN analyst and former Notre Dame player and national champ, Kelly Deyo. Kelly, thanks for stopping by as always.
Happy to be here.
Let's start with this team. They're 10-1 in Big South play. They defeated UNC Asheville earlier this week and did so in a game where their best player, Ashley Reininger, really wasn't a factor because of foul trouble. What does that say about this team able to succeed with Reininger really not doing a whole lot?
Well, it's huge, especially she had just come off a game where she had 27, tied her season high. I think there were a lot of expectations on her coming into this game because Asheville is actually very undersized, they don't have a great post presence. And she gets 2 fouls in the first couple of minutes, had to sit for really the remainder of that half, and other people stepped up. And they weren't necessarily players you'd think, but players that had actually stepped up in the past had finally emerged. And then you had in that game Carly Buer with some knee problems sitting on the bench the whole second half. So those are your 2 top scorers, really kind of a non-factor in this game.
Impressive that they could pull it out. Talk about players stepping up. Sedalia Ellis had a career-high point total in that game, running the point for this team. Do we kind of undervalue what she does? Is she kind of the catalyst for this squad?
You know, this was kind of her breakout season. She'd been a little bit, I think, behind the scenes up until this year. She earned a starting spot, and she had a few games where she actually played very well, had some good numbers, and she's so incredible on defense. I mean, she's probably the best defender on this team. Great hands, great quickness. But I think this is kind of her time. The second half of the season, we just started the second half of conference, coming in and actually making an impact, I think, on the offensive end is going to be huge because now you've got this inside presence that Liberty has always had, and to be able to move that outside, make the defense, you know, worried about especially your point guard. You got shooters on the outside, but worrying about your point guard opens up a lot inside.
And she does such a great job of penetrating as well and then dishing off. So it all sets up this on Saturday, a showdown with second place High Point. We remember Liberty took it to them in Lynchburg earlier this season. Essentially, if Liberty wins this game, it's going to be really hard for them not to win the regular season crown in the Big South. How important is this, and what are the keys now going on the road to knock off High Point?
It's a huge game, and I think everybody knows that everybody in the conference is waiting for this game to happen. And obviously, High Point just lost to Radford the other day, which actually put them into sole possession of second instead of tied for first. So a very interesting game right there. But, you know, Liberty's just going to have to come in there and be confident. I think a lot of times they come in and think that they have to do too much, or players have to step up a little bit more, you know, than they need to. But they just have to be confident in this game and go in and actually, you know, I mean, have a good, solid game. Bench players have to, you know, come and really be a factor in that game. They hadn't necessarily in recent games. So get back to that. And then beyond, you know, I think it's just going to be being ready and prepared for each game, not looking ahead to anything. And last year, Liberty lost beat Winthrop twice in the regular season, lost to them when it actually counted going to the NCAA tournament. So it's sort of one of those tricky situations. They want to play well, but they want to, you know, send a message.
Big game. Kelly, thanks so much for stopping by as always. Clement, send it back over to you.